This is just AMZN for Friday, September 6th, 2019. The move that we had today was making slightly lower highs and slightly higher lows. Really nice indecision candle on the daily, and on the 5-minute here, we plunged lower initially and then really stayed within the range of the first 10 minutes of the day. Really between, I was about to say that low, but we actually did make a lower low here, and we went below it again here. Let's see, we're pretty much the same level here. 1829, 17, 1828, 28. Okay, so 3 of these candles went below. Nope, 4. Anyway, some of the candles in the day went lower than this pivot right here, but we really stayed range bound on the upper range of Thursday's candles. If we switch back to the daily, you can see we had a really small candle. The range was 1425. Again, another small candle similar to this. We just didn't get the continuation gap up. We're staying below this resistance and retesting slightly, which is actually good. And retested down into the 1830 price area here. What's really interesting is the squeeze fired, and I can't, let's see, is the momentum bullish? I can't quite see it. Let's take a look. Yep, okay. Momentum switched from only a little bit bearish to now bullish, and we'll see if we can get any more rest out of this before we would see a continuation higher. And with the squeeze, let's see, the last time we had a squeeze where we shifted from bearish to bullish, it's actually this one that rolled way down and then bounced. Hopefully that kind of thing doesn't happen again. And then prior to that, we had kind of these opening and reopening squeezes. That was to the downside. Let's see, we're having a squeeze where it shifted from bearish momentum to bullish momentum in a little while. Let's see. Nope, not quite there. Not quite there. So it's been a while. It's been quite a while. Maybe there. That was mostly flat. Man, we're back in the 300s. It's been great to be buying Amazon there. This one, but we're in a down. We're going down here. So I'm not really. Here's a good one. Okay, so very small squeeze firing, started to move up, pulled back, really nice S curve and continuation. So that took an extra, like after the squeeze fired, took a whole nother week or so. And then if we picture this kind of thing, I mean, I like this setup actually, because the squeeze triggered was a bearish candle. It was already pushing above resistances here, and then there was still some open here, and we ultimately got back up above some of those pivots within kind of the range of that squeeze here, around 10, 12 bars later, or something like that. So this is probably really fitting to what we've been seeing, where we've got this downtrend or this pullback, not really a downtrend, just a bigger pullback, and put in some sort of consolidation. This was definitely doing some sort of like inverted head and shoulders here that was starting to break out. We have a slanted neckline, kind of a regular one that didn't quite reach the neckline. And then this is your retest of some kind of a neckline here. If we fast forward, there we go, back to in here, you can kind of see some similar shaping where this obviously isn't an inverted head and shoulders, but we did do some consolidating. We've got some sort of a level here, and we're now above it, pulled back with the squeeze. And you could give this a few more days. You could give this all this week even. You know, the dotted line here would be next weekend. So the 12th, 13th here, Friday the 13th coming up. Hopefully nothing scary happens in the market. We'll see. 13th here, and then the 16th here. If we can stay sideways in this range, like even do something like this, where we're just hovering in this same area, that could totally set us up for a bigger pop, like like this was and like the one we saw back a ways. So I just like the similarities in that one. You had like a still an open gap aside from its own little wick that this was trying to come back up into, and maybe it'll get there. It'll close that gap within a few days this week, pull back down, even bounce then off of the 1815 price, and then rally. That'd be something. So anyway, but back to Friday. The places to short were at the open and up at these highs near 1841.30, and then the place to be selling or buying to close or buying to open, we're down at this level with a really amazing hammer down here and at the same pivot level. So this was kind of like a quick retest, secondary retest, bigger, third retest, fourth retest, something like that. And so there were some good setups to be buying there. So the 1825 calls initially came down with, it doesn't really look like a hammer. But what's really nice about this is if you miss this setup, you got another one right here. And so if you're looking at an entry in the 10 by 8 range, something like that, you could have probably tightened it up a little bit by the time I got over here. Maybe do 10 by 9. I don't know if you would have been stopped out. Oops. That was this candle. So this came down so quickly, a lot of premium got sucked out. It came right back down here, held the low, but put in from the low price around 9 instead of closer to 8. And then that bounced. That bounced from like 10 up to 15. Could have been exiting right up at here at 14 or 15, anywhere in there for a nice 4 or 5 hour. The next time it came back down was over here. Again, really nice hammer. Wait for the hammer to form or buy off the low. That was way down here. Definitely took out the $8 price, came down and formed, it could have worked like 8 by 7 and probably wouldn't have given you a great opportunity to get into that. I don't even know if 7 or if 8 would have filled here. You probably would have need to be buying that like at 7 on its way down this way, thinking, okay, I was buying here, I was buying off of this candle or this low from here. What if I can buy this same level at a much better price on the option? And that's what you've been doing here. So instead of sitting up, buying around 9 or 10, it's like, okay, wait for it to get lower. There's more premium sucked out. Even this hovering right here at 10, that was during the 10 o'clock hour. That was way up here. Some people were buying this thinking it's just going to bounce. It's going to continue up, it's going to go. And instead it traps all them, stops them out just to then give them the move they're looking for. Even someone getting back in here, that worked. And so that would have been getting in, some people getting in at 10, it didn't work. Waiting, for it to get down below where all these stops would be, like a stop down at 8, a stop down at 7, it, crushed those, and then it rallied from there. So this would have been a harder one to get at the right option. It did have going for it that the price level was similar to in here. And so just waiting for that kind of thing, that it's, just waiting for it to hit this low, then buy, thinking it's, not going to have a huge rollover kind of day, or at least there's enough support here. That's where you could have been buying off that at the right option price. But you really got to map the option price well to figure that out. And then that was about it. There weren't really any other good places to buy. I mean, maybe here at 9, it would have worked, but what told you to buy here? Because right here, it had just taken out these guys and gals. Who's to say it wasn't about to happen again here? And this was pretty steady selling. So it actually makes sense that it would go a little bit bullish here. But I mean, there's no reason it had to pop like this either. So I think this is one you probably would have skipped and not tried to get in, even though it showed the same entry like 9 by 8 as this or this. It just was setting up with more risk to the downside if it does the same thing that it just did. So that's kind of what you're opening yourself up to. On the put side, this is really interesting. So we, looking at whole numbers, you got 7 you could have been buying at, 6 wouldn't have worked, 5 would have worked, 4 would have worked, 3 would have worked. So aside from early in the morning where Buying at 7, I mean, it worked right out the gate. But buying here at 7, that worked, but then 6 didn't. 6 would have had you stopped out. So that's, you probably would have, well, let's say you did it. Let's say you bought at 7 here, not this one, bought at 7, and you flipped it out for 3R. Let's say you went 7 to 10. Okay. Now let's say you did it again here at 6. Well, you got stopped out. And because you got stopped out, you weren't getting it set up to buy at 5. You were getting stopped out at 5. So then you're like, okay, it's way up here, way up here. I'm not going to go for 5 because I missed that. I'm going to try for 4. And you wait, and it gets it 4, and you flip that out at 7. So you're up 3R here and 3R here and down 1R here. So that's 5R. And then you try one more time to buy at 3, and you flip it out at 6 because that's 3R. So you have 3, 3, 3. That's 9 minus 1R because you lost it here. That's 8R. 8R, same setup, just move it back $1 each time it works, or move it back $2 when it doesn't work. So, I mean, these things pop up once in a while. What's really interesting is we're making higher lows all day. We're making lower highs all day. And so it could have worked aside from this one showing that this level was 7, or this was 7, and then this one came down to 5. So pretty quickly you lost that value. And this was the 1840. Sorry, I forgot to mention. This was the 1825 call. This is the 1840 put. And we were in the money. And it still moved this way. It still lost more premium here on that bigger pullback because there was more premium already baked in from the bigger move we had on Thursday. So this was a really nice hammer, inverted hammer here, ready to roll over, and it worked. Even if you waited for that hammer to form, you could have been buying anywhere in here around 6 again and riding that out, So even though buying at 6 and getting stopped out at 5, that would have sucked, there was other opportunities within the next half hour, really, to get back in at 6 and stop at 5 and flip it back out at 9, for 3R. And so, let's add that back in that, okay, you got stopped out once, you try it again, you're back in. Now you have 3, 3, 3, 3, that's 12R, minus the one you lost here, that's back down to 11R. So that's 11R. It's worth doing the same setup, especially when you see that, oh, we're coming into this level again. You just draw this line, and it's a line you probably could have drawn early on in the day. Let's see if I can get the drawing tool up and see what it does. So if I do something like this, maybe, there you go. If I just connect like these, be like, all right, well, we kind of went down a little bit. What if we keep going down, or I'm going to wait till we get all the way up here. Well, it doesn't get there, but it has a nice evening star reversal, and this one has a nice little, well, even you could have connected these two, from here, going through this one, and then to here, and we're like, well, what if we do it again? And sure enough, it would have worked right here, So like this, I'm saying if, come on, and to the right, to the right. Just by connecting this one and this one, you get that one, and then you also get that one. Okay, and I'm a little bit off, so. Okay, yeah, it's like right there. Some algorithm probably saw that and made some nice money on it, but it didn't. So I guess I'm not an algorithm. All right, some nice setups, some nice moves. Let's see if we can get some rest and then continuation. This is a really consolidated, a really compact bullish move. I mean, we've had some bullish moves. We've had like this kind of a bullish move that needed a bigger time to rest. We could rest some more. We come back to the 21, back to the 5. We could rest some more. Let that momentum build. We're trapping bears already up here. Let's see if we can trap some more going into options expiration in 2 weeks. And yeah, see what we can do. So we'll be back all this week to just kind of do a recap and see what's going on. I hope this helps. This is just AMZN. Thanks.